Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kortiwada. In this video, we will see how to create our custom environment files and how to build it. So we have default two environments. One is production environment and one is development environment. So we'll see about that first and later we'll create our custom environments, because as if you are going to the enterprise application or some set of medium scale applications, we create some set of environments which will be using some different configurations, and that configurations can be configured at one point and that can be utilized in your application. So here first thing we'll see about how to build with a default options. So we have two files for the environments. One is environment.prod.ts, environment.ts. If you see this prod, if you remember, we are using a base URL and the base URL is this one. So we are using this particular URL. And if you go into the environment.ts, it also has a base URL, and in our case we don't have separate environments, hence I am not using separate URLs. But in some cases your development environment will have one base URL and one production will have one base URL and some set of other configurations also maybe, and you may be also having UAT configuration and QA configuration. So first we'll see the default one. So here from Angular 14, whatever the environment you gave, whatever the environment you are using, it doesn't matter, but it will take the default environment as production environment. So whenever we want to run our default production environment, we can use ng build. So by default it will take the production environment. Let me go into our package JSON and what this ng build will do. Whenever you give ng build, it will just jump onto your angular.json. This is my angular.json. If you see here, there is something called as configurations. So inside this configuration we have production and development. If you see, the default configuration is production. So that's why whenever you give ng build, it will go into these configurations and it will check the default configuration. My default configuration is matching with this, hence it will take all the rules whatever we have created inside this production. This production have by default budgets and file replacements. So this file replacements is very important. For example, in some environment you don't want to use mock files at all, but in development environment you may be using the mock files. So in that cases you will be writing your replace logics, like my mock files should be replaced with this one, that is nothing but empty, so that it will not pick that particular files. So file replacement is also very important, and output hashing, we'll talk about that once we run this particular ng build. So this is about production. And coming to the budgets, so you can write your budgets. For example, type is initial. So whenever you are giving a build, then initial build should take 500 KB or less than that. If it is 500 KB, then show the warning, otherwise show the error itself. In the same way, whenever you are writing a component with styles, any component style, that should not exceed 2 KB. If it is exceeding 2 KB, I am showing a maximum warning, and if it is exceeding 4 KB, we are throwing an error and it will not even build that particular application. So now I am giving ng build with a default one. Let me hit enter. Now what we are doing here, we are replacing our environment.ts file with environment.prod.ts. So once the build is happened, that will be replacing this environment.ts with our prod.ts, because whenever we are running our application we should get the production environment details. So that's why I'm using this replacement logic. So coming to output hashing, if you see output hashing, all the JS files are created and they are created with individual modules, because we have created our application with lazy loading. Now go into your dist folder, and inside this dist folder all these were created. You can see that numbers, main dot style dot polyfills, runtime, lazy chunks. All the lazy chunks are noted with 982 dot something, and all these files has been created. So this is our bundle, and if you see here, bundle initial exceeds maximum budget is 500 KB, was not met by 471 KB with a total of 971 KB. So it is telling that it is having 971 KB. So that is a warning which is given by this bundle, and if you want to increase that, you can increase it. So I'm giving 1 MB as maximum and 2 MB as an error block. So let me save this and let me run this again. If you observe, it will delete the existing dist folders. You can see when I click this, nothing is there. Now it deleted all the files and now it will generate new files. Let me go here. It is not showing any warning because our build is of 900 KB and it doesn't exceed 1 MB. For example, I have 500 KB, the same thing, and I am using the same thing here, 200 500 KB. So now the build will not happen because previously we got 900 KB. 900 KB is reaching the maximum of 500 KB, and hence it will show the error ng build. So again this dist folder will be deleted, and you can see that will be creating a new bundles. Now it thrown error, bundle initial exceed maximum budget. Budget 500 KB was not met by 471 KB with total of 971. You have 971 KB. Inside that we have 500 KB minus. That means 471 KB is more. That's why it is throwing an error. So this is about your budgets. So we can set our budget to 1 MB now, and this is 2 MB. I have my, if your application is very big, of course your production build will be big. So in that cases you have to manage this by using this budgets. So now this is about the production. If you want to run, let me run again, and now it will run smoothly. And hope you also understand about hashing. So let me show you what is hashing. So output hashing is something like, if you go with any of the files which are created, okay, so you got all the hashed data. That means in single line all the JavaScript is compressed and used. So that is about hashing. And also all the files whatever you are using, it is created with hash code. That means you don't have a proper code for it. So you have this A58, that means a random number which is created. So what I'll do is, now I don't want to use this as a default. Then what you can do, you can just make it as development. So let me make it as development as a default one. Let me save this and try to run ng build. Let me run ng build. Now the default configuration is development, and it will take the development configuration. It is saying that build optimizer false, optimization false, vendor chunks true. So like that, that means it is showing all your names also. If you see the dist folder, you have this many files, and all the files are having names. Why? Because we are not hashing them. That's why you are seeing src underscore app underscore views underscore admin views underscore dashboard. That means it is showing you the structure as well. That means folder structure. As per your folder structures it is creating. This is not always recommended, and if you click this you are able to see all the data in a formatted way. And you can, the people who are very good at JavaScript, they can understand this JS as well. So that's why it is not always recommended to use a development build whenever you are going with a production. So let me go here, and now I'll change the default to production. But sometime if you want to give the development build, then how you can give it? So it is very simple, ng build. Inside this build I have to go inside the configuration. So my option is configuration and give development. So whatever you are using the key over here, you can give over here, that is development, and hit enter. So now by command itself, we are not changing the default configuration. By command itself we are creating our development environment bundles. So that's about your development part. And now if you want to add one more environment, what you can do, for example I want to add a QA environment or UAT environment. So UAT is mostly similar to the production. So let me copy this and put it over here. Let me make this as UAT, and I'll create one file called as UAT file. So now where I have to create, go into src, go into environment, let me create a new file, environment.uat.ts, and this is my file. Whenever I am running this particular UAT build, then my file replacement should be uat.ts. And I'm giving the same number of chunks and budgets. Budgets is not a big deal. Based on the application it may increase, based on some applications it may decrease. So let me move here, and what this environment should have. In my case the environment should have mostly all the properties. Here the production is true, yes it is a production, and base URL this can be changed. It depends on your UAT, https://uat.com/ Techshare, something like this. If you have any URL you can keep that URL and save this. Now what we will do, we will run this build. How to run this build? Same thing. This is a custom configuration, npm run, or let me go with ng build with -- configuration, and the configuration name is UAT. Hit enter. So now it will create your UAT build. Same like production, it will be creating your UAT build. But wherever you are using the base URL, that URL will be this URL, not the production URL. So whatever you are configuring in the environment base URL, that base URL will be replaced with this particular URL. So this is also fine, but always the people will not try to go into Angular JSON and see what are the environments we have and we have to type it. Instead, what we can do is we can write our custom scripts. So what I'll do is, let me go here and create one custom script. So my script is simple: ng build hyphen hyphen configuration and UAT. That's it. So here let me give comma, and here let me give UAT and save this. Now ng build, or we have to run the custom scripts, hence npm run UAT. This will also run indirectly ng build hyphen hyphen configuration UAT. You can see here ng build hyphen hyphen configuration. You can write your custom scripts as well, so that the people will not always go into Angular JSON and see what are the configurations we have. Instead, they can go here and they can check these are the builds which we can give it. If you want to run multiple builds or multiple things, for example, I want to go with a UAT or full UAT build. For example, if I have this, what I want to do, I want to run npm run UAT, and before that I want to run npm run test and the condition. Let me go and give comma and save this. Now let me run npm run full UAT build. So I am combining two commands over there, npm run test and npm run UAT. So it will run the test cases and then it will go into UAT and it will run the UAT cases. So whenever we are running the test cases, it will just go and run the test cases, and we got some error. That's okay. We didn't fix all the cases, and now it will go and run the UAT. Once this is completed, it will go and run the UAT. So that's about the combination of different scripts. So like this, we can use our custom scripts and custom environments, and we can build our Angular application. Hope this will give you a glance about environment and how to set up all the different types of environments. If you have any questions, put all your questions in the comment. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.